You guys move out and something goes wrong where something has changed. The fisheries are affected negatively. What responsibility does Pebble Group have to staying there and bringing things back in normal habitat? One more.
Sure.
After Pebble is finished here, the company continues on. There are other places to mine, maybe not as preferable as this site because it's easily accessed. You guys know what you know about the ore that is there, but it moves on. There's somewhere else to go. Now the question that I ultimately have more for you guys to ask yourselves is why here? When we know the importance of the fishery, and you said earlier we're all Alaskans, we know the importance of Bristol Bay. The risk, if the salmon could file a lawsuit, is a liability worth it for any company. The risk is there. There are other sites which you inevitably are going to after you finish here, whether the permits go through or not. But why this site? Now, is Pebble pushing because other people are pushing back, just like is EPA pushing because Pebble is pushing? What is the ultimate goal?
Yeah.
It's money ultimately. But
yeah. I'll try to answer it the best I can. One, you'll see in our literature and you'll hear us talk about the opportunity to coexist. We have to demonstrate that we're not going to have a negative impact on the fishery. To your question on halfway through operation, if something were to happen, that's a regulatory function that would have to shut us down. Then I think your question about other sites is kind of a unique question. Why are we where we are? There's two answers to that question. It's state of Alaska land that one of the designated uses for that land is for mineral exploration and development. Many in the room as Alaskans know that at statehood we took title to 100 million acres in order to develop an economy. So this land, and it's actually an interesting chapter in the EBD on how the state acquired the land. The state's been interested in it pretty much since statehood. As we rolled into ANILCA, subject of a three-way land exchange between Cook Inlet Regional Native Corporation, the federal government who wanted the Cook Inlet inhold into Lake Clark Park, and the state who wanted to finally settle title to their land. And so the question of why we're there is that one of the potential opportunities on this state of Alaska land is for mineral exploration and development. When the state made the decision to choose the land, one of the reasons is there was the belief that the mineralization there could be favorable. It just happens that the exploration work that ultimately took place resulted in a very significant find of copper, gold, and molybdenum, and that's why we're there. The miners of the world are going after minerals for a variety of reasons, right? Namely, I don't know how many of you in this room drive hybrids or use your smartphones and your iPads, but the iPad, every single part of it came from a hole in the ground, somewhere. The glass did, petroleum, or the casing did, and all the componentry. And there's an interesting article that I would encourage you to read. It's by a couple of guys at Yale, called The Consumption Conundrum. And it's at its heart about the discussion relative to Pebble. Very fascinating article. It just talks about our decisions as a broader society. So why are we looking at this? The mineral potential is very high. The communities that are closest to the mine site don't have a lot of economic opportunities. I've visited with a lot of folks in region, as well as the rest of our team, and any one of them will tell you that in their top 5 choices for an economic opportunity, they probably would not put a mine there, but right now, that's the only opportunity in front of them. I encourage you to look at some of the socioeconomic and demographic information for this part of our state, where a lot of these communities are in decline. In the time I've been with the project, I've watched the school at Pedro Bay is closed because they hit the 10-student minimum for funding from the state. And when the schools close in some of these communities, it rips the heart out of them. And there are 5 other schools within the Lakeland Peninsula borough that are on a watch list for funding. And so there are broader questions here, and the folks who are closest have expressed an interest in at least knowing the full opportunity that this could present for that part of the state.